In recent days, the entire geological community worldwide has been witnessing a terrifying spectacle. Europe's tallest volcano suddenly erupted with a force that reverberated across the entire region, sending shockwaves that were audible from afar. A towering plume of ash and volcanic debris shot into the sky, reaching heights of over 6,000 meters and cloaking much of Sicily in a thick curtain of protective ash clouds. Burning fragments of rock, the size of cars, rained down from the sky within dozens of kilometers from the crater, creating a scene of apocalyptic chaos. However, this eruption is merely the beginning of a far more severe global catastrophe unfolding right now. Over the past 3 months, the planet has experienced an unprecedented surge in volcanic activity. On the 25th of May, the Hawaiian volcano awoke again, spewing a 30-meter tall fountain of lava and ash into the air. Just days earlier, on May 21st, southern Italy endured its most intense earthquake in nearly 4 decades, striking the region around the supervolcano, Campi and Flegra, sites infamous for having buried much of Europe in ash 40,000 years ago and nearly wiped out humanity. Scientists are now recording a disturbing pattern. Seismic activity worldwide has reached alarming levels, with 4 instances over the last month hitting extreme thresholds. Europe's ongoing volcanic unrest has pushed the region into a phase of instability unparalleled since the last ice age. Today, we will reveal the truth behind what is happening beneath Europe's surface, explore why the year 2025 might mark a critical turning point, and examine whether Europe is prepared for the awakening of a supervolcano that could transform the entire continent in a single day. This monstrous volcano has once again reminded the world why it is considered Europe's most dangerous. What initially appeared to be routine observation has escalated into a horrifying spectacle of massive proportions. A colossal ash plume surged to a height of about 6,400 meters, higher than most commercial airplanes fly. The ash clouds blanketed the entire island of Sicily, while fiery fragments akin to meteorites fell from the sky like a deadly rain. What is most astonishing is how long humanity chose to ignore or downplay this destructive force. For years, everyone knew it was an active volcano. Tourists flocked here, taking selfies against the smoking, majestic mountain. It seemed at times nothing more than a scenic backdrop, a beautiful, intimidating natural monument that only occasionally produced smoke for show. Then, on the night of June 2nd, 2025, everything changed. At 10 o'clock local time, the ground began to tremble, the moment no one anticipated. Suddenly, a section of the crater on the southeastern flank collapsed, triggering what geologists describe as a pyroclastic flow. This is not just a fancy term from textbooks. It is a deadly mixture of gases, ash, and fragmented rocks rushing downhill at speeds up to 700 kilometers per hour and temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius. Such flows instantly incinerate anything in their path, reducing living things to ash within seconds. Authorities quickly declared a red aviation warning, the highest alert level. Fortunately, at that moment, the wind shifted direction, carrying the ash cloud away from Catania Airport, allowing some time for evacuation and response. Yet, this fragile balance could shatter with any change in wind, turning one of southern Europe's busiest airports into a ghost town within moments. Experts describe this situation as a strombolian eruption, a phase characterized by vigorous bursts of lava and ash, typical of active stratovolcanoes experiencing intense activity. This eruption starkly illustrates the incredible danger posed by Europe's most notorious volcano, which, despite decades of monitoring, remains an unpredictable and potentially planet-altering threat. As the current events unfold, they serve as a stark warning of what could come if this towering giant fully awakens, something that could drastically reshape not just Sicily, but the entire European landscape in a matter of hours. Scientists continuously monitored the seismic activity around Mount Etna, aware of the volcanic danger's unsettling nature. These eruptions tend to intensify gradually, so what begins as a seemingly minor event can, within hours, escalate into a catastrophe of planetary proportions. However, this was only the beginning of a much larger story. Etna revealed only a fraction of its true power, leaving the global scientific community in suspense about what might come next. Geologists classify it as a stratovolcano, a term that conceals a profound fear. Such volcanoes are built from numerous layers of hardened lava, volcanic ash, and dust accumulated over millennia. Each stratum bears witness to past disasters that reshaped entire regions. Over its half-million-year history, Etna has experienced approximately 200 documented eruptions. Yet, in the last 100 years, its activity has grown significantly more intense. To grasp the volcano's real danger, one must understand its internal structure. Located where the African and Eurasian tectonic plates converge, the African plate is slowly subducting beneath Eurasia, causing intense melting at the margins, temperatures exceeding 1200 degrees Celsius. This process generates colossal pressure beneath the mountain. Standing at 25,000 meters above sea level, Etna is twice the height of Mount Vesuvius. Interestingly, it resembles a powerful internal combustion engine, building energy, increasing pressure, and then releasing it suddenly. Sometimes this manifests as a simple wisp of smoke. Other times it erupts with fierce bursts of ash and lava, demanding immediate evacuation. Unlike volcanic activity, the mechanical condition of cars is entirely controllable. Proper maintenance, knowing where and how to service vehicles, significantly reduces risks. Here, technology offers invaluable assistance, making car care as predictable as a clear weather forecast. This is where AutoSpot comes in. By visiting their website, you can select your vehicle and the type of maintenance needed. A map then displays various service options with prices. Choosing the most convenient or affordable proposal is straightforward, and you can secure a discount with just 2 clicks. No matter the vehicle, be it an old Japanese model or a new Chinese one, offerings come from verified service centers and official dealerships, ensuring dependability and warranty coverage. Moreover, the app is now available on smartphones, allowing you to arrange maintenance without a computer. The link to AutoSpot is included in the description. Be sure to use it. But the height of Etna appears to be only the tip of the iceberg. Its base covers about 190 square kilometers, more than the area of London. The figures related to Etna are staggering. It ranks 10th among the tallest volcanoes worldwide. Over the past century, several catastrophic eruptions have occurred here, each capable of altering the course of history. To grasp the significance of Mount Etna within the broader context of volcanic giants and planetary threats, it helps to compare it with other formidable volcanic structures. The Vesuvius volcano, which famously buried Pompeii nearly 2,000 years ago, appears diminutive next to Etna. Vesuvius stands at just over 1,281 meters, whereas Etna soars to a staggering 3,295 meters. Yet the true giants of volcanic power are found elsewhere across the globe. Compared to these colossal formations, Etna may seem relatively benign, but its unassuming appearance on first glance masks a significant risk. For generations, people have grown accustomed to Etna's persistent activity, viewing it as a part of the natural landscape. Meanwhile, underlying geological processes continuously accumulate energy within the volcano's depths. Modern monitoring technologies reveal alarming signs that this danger is real and growing. Since 1942, Etna's summit has risen by 26 meters, indicating that magma chambers are filling at a pace exceeding their drainage. Satellite observations confirm slow but relentless deformation of the surrounding crust, hinting at escalating volcanic unrest. Despite being one of the most studied volcanoes on Earth, Etna remains unpredictable. A dense network of hundreds of sensors constantly tracks subtle shifts. Seismographs record underground tremors, GPS stations monitor surface deformation, and spectrometers analyze gases emitted from the crater. Yet, even the most advanced systems cannot provide absolute guarantees against eruption. The eruption on the 2nd of June in 2025 caught experts unprepared. While early warning signs appear, they failed to foretell the fury of that event. Recognizing the immense economic costs, potentially amounting to tens of billions of euros for full area evacuations, authorities opted for risk management strategies rather than blanket destruction. Insurance companies have developed specialized policies for residents in volcanic zones, with premiums sometimes reaching between 10 and 15% of property values. A price many are willing to pay to remain in what they consider paradise despite the danger. The history of Etna is woven with terrifying episodes. Over the past century alone, the volcano has repeatedly demonstrated its destructive power, each warning seeming more ominous than the last. Scientists analyze these events carefully in hopes of predicting future activity and understanding the volcano's true potential. Modern volcanology itself traces its roots to studies of Etna, with systematic observations beginning in the late 19th century, when the first volcanic observatory was established. In 1928, Etna's lava flows reached the town of Axi, nearly swallowing it entirely, with only a small part surviving to this day. The eruption of 1950, which lasted 372 days without pause, set a record for prolonged activity, during which an astonishing 171 million cubic meters of lava were emitted. On April 5th in 1901, Etna dealt a humbling blow to the scientific community with a sudden, intense eruption that advanced rapidly. Within hours, the lava engulfed research facilities, destroying decades of data and groundbreaking observations. Such episodes serve as stark reminders. Despite extensive monitoring, Etna's fury can still catch humanity unawares. In June, 7 more volcano craters erupted simultaneously, spewing molten lava in all directions. The scene resembled apocalyptic biblical descriptions of hell, with the earth cracking open, revealing fiery subterranean worlds practically disintegrating. On March 28, 1983, one of the most intense chapters in human struggle against nature began. Early that morning, seismographs recorded a series of powerful underground tremors. By midday, a 2-kilometer-long fissure had formed in the southern flank, spilling out streams of molten rock. In a desperate bid to halt the flow, Italian authorities resorted to explosives, an unprecedented attempt to redirect a volcanic lava stream. On May 14th of that year at 4 in the morning, a pioneering directed explosion was carried out using several tons of dynamite, aiming to alter the fiery river's course. Although temporarily successful, The lava shifted direction for only a few hours before bursting through an artificial barrier and resuming its destructive flow. It took multiple additional blasts and the construction of concrete barriers to finally arrest the eruption, which ended only on August 6th, after 130 days of relentless activity. At the dawn of the new millennium, the volcano seemed to herald a new era through a spectacular eruption. On January 26, 2000, at 2 a.m., the Earth trembled violently, an earthquake of epic proportions, culminating in the creation of a new fissure along the southeastern flank. Over the next half-year, 60 periods of intense activity were recorded, forming two new craters that remain to this day. Yet the true catastrophe began on October 26, 2002, after 14 months of relative calm. The volcano awoke with doubled fury. On October 29th, a seismic event shocked geologists worldwide. The volcano shifted. Its eastern edge moved several tens of centimeters, a staggering displacement of a mountain weighing billions of tons, comparable to a toy block nudged by a child. That same day, an earthquake struck the area, causing massive destruction. In just 1 second, over 2,600 people lost their homes and safety. By December 16th, lava reached a nearby power plant, and the explosion was visible from dozens of kilometers away. Scorching fragments flew outward, scattering as far as 500 meters. The eruption finally subsided on January 29th, after 95 days of continuous activity. Paradoxically, these violent outbursts simultaneously bring death and life. The land around the volcano is remarkably fertile, yielding record-breaking harvests. Local vineyard producers supply grapes for the famed Sicilian wine, highly valued worldwide precisely because of the unique volcanic soil. This creates a devilish dilemma. Residents cannot escape far from the volcano's shadow, as the land's richness keeps them bound to it, despite the ever-present danger. Their economic gains outweigh their fears. The eruption of Mount Etna in the year 2025 exemplifies that Sicily's volcanic activity is no longer an isolated issue. It serves as a warning that the planet is entering a new era of increased volcanic unrest. Climate change, ongoing and widespread, appears to be awakening dormant giants, creating conditions that favor volcanic eruptions worldwide. Recent patterns have raised alarms, revealing a troubling trend of rising seismic and volcanic activity that suggests the Earth's internal forces are becoming increasingly unpredictable and volatile. Throughout Earth's history, major episodes of global warming have often been accompanied by surges in volcanic activity, with melting glaciers altering tectonic stresses beneath the surface and rising sea levels influencing seismic processes. This year, Etna is not the only volcano sending alarming signals. On May 25th, the Kilauea volcano in the Pacific region roared back to life as one of the most active volcanoes in that area. Meanwhile, the Phlegraean fields near Naples exhibit signs of imminent awakening, as a powerful earthquake, unprecedented in the past 40 years, struck the region on May 21st, followed by approximately 150 aftershocks. Historically, the eruption of the supervolcano Campi Flegrei in Italy blanketed Europe with ash covering an area of about 150,000 square kilometers, with volcanic fragments reaching as far as Greenland, some 4,500 kilometers from the epicenter. Such eruptions once triggered a volcanic winter across Europe, leading to widespread famine and significant population declines. Modern climate models warn of dire scenarios should Etna escalate to a super-eruption, Such an event could blanket large parts of Europe in ash for months or even years, severely disrupting human life. The true danger, however, lies in a cascading effect. A major eruption of one volcano can trigger increased activity in others. Geologists have noted concerning recent patterns. Over the past few months, seismic activity has reached extreme levels 4 times. Typically, more than one earthquake with a magnitude of 7 or greater per month is considered a cause for serious concern among scientists. In 2025, an unusual spike in seismic events indicated that Earth's crust is entering a phase of heightened instability. Economists have calculated that even a moderate volcanic eruption could have profound impacts on the global economy. Recall the 2010 eruption of the Icelandic volcano Eyjafjallajökull, which grounded flights and caused damages estimated at $5 billion. A similar eruption from Etna could potentially result in damages dozens of times greater. Experts are pessimistic, recognizing that large-scale volcanic eruptions are inevitable. Recent evidence suggests that supervolcanic eruptions like those of Etna or Yellowstone have the potential to trigger a global volcanic winter lasting up to 80 years. During the second half of the 20th century, cinema and media often depicted nuclear war as the ultimate destructive force, not only from direct explosions but also through radioactive rain and nuclear winter, where soot from burned cities would enter the atmosphere, blocking sunlight, resulting in decades of bitter cold at the equator and extreme cold in temperate regions. Ironically, scientists of the same era refuted the notion that nuclear weapons could produce such effects, claiming that only supervolcanoes like Etna or Yellowstone could induce a similar global catastrophe. If you're interested in these topics, consider engaging with this content more deeply, whether through discussion or further research. These natural forces pose a real, persistent threat to life on Earth.